So I see a great number of mistakes made in thematics where people get excited about something because it's in the newspaper, it's getting talked about. AI is a great example now. It could have been battery stocks a few years ago, but generally when everyone's talking about something is towards the relative peak in the short term of performance, and often you have to withstand some pretty big dips along the way. Hey, this is Chris from StockSpot, Australia's largest online investment advisor. In this video, I'm going to be covering satellite investments, also known as thematic investments. How do you pick them in your portfolio, and what are some tips for making sure that you get great returns from them over the long run? And I would say, as a starting point at StockSpot, we don't tell everyone that you need satellite or thematic investments. In fact, we think a simple core portfolio is all you really need. But we do know a lot of people like to have a bit of a go and pick some stocks or pick some thematic ETFs for their portfolio. And this video is really for those people. And those people we also cater for at StockSpot with the choice of thematic ETFs. Now, first of all, what are themes? Themes are generally ways of getting exposure to more specific niches within the market. You can do that by buying individual stocks. You might pick a sector like lithium, for instance, and buy a few lithium stocks, or you can buy individual ETFs that give you more thematic exposure. So you might pick a battery energy ETF and it gives you exposure to a few different battery stocks. And that's the same for other sectors. You might want cryptocurrency, you might want more exposure to banks, it might be healthcare, whatever it is. A thematic investment allows you to magnify returns in a particular part of the market. And my first tip would be make sure you've got a strong core. So thematic investing should only be a very small part of your portfolio. We allow StockSpot clients to invest up to 20% in thematic investments, but the most important part of your portfolio is actually the 80%, which is driving returns. So keep focused on that first and make the thematic secondary, and that would be my first tip. The second tip would be don't double down. So if you've already got a lot of something in your main part of your portfolio, you probably don't need more of it in the thematic part. Thematics are a great way of getting exposure to something that's quite small in the market that actually you feel like you're underexposed to. So really try and understand what's inside the main part of your portfolio before picking the thematics to make sure you're not just doubling down on the same stuff you're already invested in. My next tips would be think long term. So I see a great number of mistakes made in thematics where people get excited about something because it's in the newspaper, it's getting talked about. AI is a great example now. It could have been battery stocks a few years ago, but generally when everyone's talking about something is towards the relative peak in the short term of performance, and often you have to withstand some pretty big dips along the way. And so if you are getting involved in thematics, make sure you've got the right time frame. 5 or 10 years we recommend for a diversified portfolio, and it's no different for thematic investments. Don't think you're going to get a quick return over 3 weeks or 6 months, because you're just as likely to lose money over that time frame. So you really have to still make it a set and forget strategy rather than see it as a way of trading in and out of markets. The next tip would be dollar cost average. To help you with that last tip, to make sure you're really getting into that thematic at a good price, and to avoid buying at the peak, rather than buying everything on one day in the thematic, I would be splitting your investments over a period of a few months, or even a bit longer, to make sure you're buying in at a decent average price and you can really average in rather than just buying at a potential peak in the market. And then my final tip, if you're buying thematics, is don't switch around and don't change them all the time. It's going to be tempting that thematics come in and out of favor. So to come in and out of a thematic because it's just less talked about. This isn't going to put you in a good position, because generally when things are talked about the most, you're going to have added them in your portfolio, and then they're going to do poorly and you're going to add something else that's most talked about. And so you're constantly going to be flipping from one thing that's hot to the next and probably missing out on returns. There's some great research that shows that people do this, including the Dalbar study, which has shown for 30 years that people who are picking managed funds tend to do much worse than people who just set and forget in index funds. So if you are picking thematics, make sure that you've got time on your horizon and you're also not switching in and out of them, because that's almost guaranteed to give you a poor result. And that would be my tip of how to pick theme investments or satellite investments for a portfolio.